well, good morning, y'all. We're going to have one of our church family members deliver the message today. David, come on up. This is David Corey, and he has delivered a message here before. We prayed about this, and this message people need to hear. And I'm going to leave you, David, all right?
All right, thank you very much. Is it working?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I want to thank Pastor Mark for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you. Hopefully I'm a little better than the last time. Good morning, everybody out there in Facebook land, internet land. Hope you're having a great day. Hopefully this message gets to you as well. Little recap from last time. I am former military, Army, many years. So I'm going to be bringing a little bit of that experience into this, but also I'm going to be bringing a little part of me into this. As you can tell, I'm a cartoon nerd at times, so I'm going to be bringing in Stitch to this. I don't know how many people have watched Lilo and Stitch, original movie. Had the experience of going to Hawaii as my first duty station the year that movie came out. So I figured it would be fitting with that character to bring in forgiveness. Another thing that I got to put out there, usually when I come up with a message or anything, I got to think of it two ways. Do I do it, as they said in the military, keep it simple? I'm not going to say the last S because it's like talking to Giver, keep it simple, stupid. Or break it down Barney style, but this time I'm going to do a little bit different. Bring it back to my teen years when I was part of the Presbyterian Church and giving messages. The pastor there, Reverend Quigley, used to tell me that an okay message gets heard. A good message, some people will think about, others make them uncomfortable, maybe even offended. A great message make people uncomfortable and make them think. And it often has good outcomes. So that's where I'm going with this today. Our first, hopefully let's see, there we go. First part of this message, we're going to go with forgiving yourself. All right. This is something that I struggle with. I think a lot of veterans struggle with. Sometimes we have this thing called survivor's guilt. Mine, I know it should go with my military service, but it more goes for personal. In 2012, my dad passed away. The man that I called my father. The reason I have survivor's guilt about that is because I was the one who had to pull the plug. And a lot of times, I judge myself. I know other people judge themselves. In the Bible, Luke 6:37 says, "Judge not, you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." This goes towards anyone. Be toward yourself, neighbor, someone that did you wrong. Again, I struggle with it. Pray about it a lot. And it hurts at times. I mean, it's 2024. My dad passed away in 2012. August 12th. I remember it like it was yesterday. A lot. But I know God's there for me. I'll have to forgive myself every day, and every day. But He's there for me. I know many of you might be struggling out there too with forgiving yourself. Whatever it is. Survivor's guilt. Guilt of something that you did to someone else. If they've forgiven you, don't keep dwelling on it. You can forgive yourself. Just takes time. The next, I gotta make sure I got this in the right order here. Forgiving others. Now, this doesn't have to be like your enemies or anything like that. That's going to be another part of this. But forgiving others, Mark 11:25, and whenever you stand praying, forgive. When you pray about someone that might have hurt you, not necessarily did anything majorly bad to you, but they hurt your feelings, you start praying about them. Whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against someone, so that your Father also who is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. Sometimes it's just a simple mistake that someone does to you. Forgive them of that. I know in my work experience, my co-workers, we all make mistakes a lot of times. Sometimes we say things that probably shouldn't be said. It's like, you go back to them, hey, I'm sorry. Ask for their forgiveness, or forgive them. That's going to happen every day. It even happens in relationships. I know from personal experience, we're going to say stupid things. We're going to do stupid things. But ask for forgiveness. Your partner will forgive you. And you're looking at me right now, I know that. Just remember, when you pray for the forgiveness. Pray for forgiving others. I think things will work out in the end. Now, this one is going to kind of be strange to people. In the military, we have, whenever we get deployed, we know who our enemy is. Sometimes we don't know who the enemy is. They might do something to us. We're going to do something to them. I've had to struggle with the fact that that's our job. Whenever we're in Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, it's our job to close with, engage the enemy. But I also remember this story. I don't know if it happened in World War I or World War II, but around Christmas time, the trenches, a lot of the fighting stopped on both sides, Germans, and I believe it was the British at the time. For one day, stopped. And they broke bread together and they celebrated Christmas together. We gotta remember that sometimes the people that are our enemies, just like us, they're doing their job. Colossians 3:13, bearing with one another, and if one has a plate against another, forgive each other. As the Lord has forgiven you, so you must also forgive. It's a struggle. When you go through every day, sometimes there are people that are your enemies. They want to see your downfall. So you gotta forgive them. It's going to happen. You're going to get mad. But it will work out. Now, remember that part that I said about uncomfortable? I know this part might make some people uncomfortable. Alright? There is one other person that sometimes, and I'm not even going to say person, sometimes we ask the questions. Why is this happening to me? Why is this not happening? Why did you take this person from me? Talking about forgiving God. Now, we go into Psalm 22, long psalm where David's writing about hardships that he's going through. feeling that God's not there for them. But I'm actually going to go with one verse, and it's more fitting at this time of year, because soon we will be celebrating Easter. This is Matthew 27:46. Knowing that even Jesus, he struggled with things that, why is this happening? About 3 p.m, Jesus cried out in a loud voice. And I'm probably going to screw this up. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Where I struggle with this part, forgiving God, is my military experience. I know I've shared a photo up here many times of the 16 guys that we lost in Iraq. 2 of them, actually 3 of them hit very hard for me. One being Kajmat, because he was one of my best friends in that unit. His first casualty we took, and I was the one who drove him for his hero flight off Ras Maya. Second one was a Specialist Lane, because I was the one who trained him in Combat Lifesaver. And the third one is Specialist Joshua Reeves, and I know if any of you guys, 216, you know this one hurt a lot, because he was killed on the day that his son was born here in the United States, that he found out that his son was born. We did the best that we could to save him. Me and Kajmat, or not Kajmat, me and someone that I know needs forgiveness a lot. Sinking, we hour and a half switch out doing CPR at the field hospital just to get him Reeves on a flight and he passed away on that flight. Things happen for a reason. Sometimes the reason we're not going to know. We're going to struggle with the hurt and the anger. And sometimes we're going to be mad at God for those things. But ultimately, we're going to have to forgive, because, one, we don't know. I believe Jesus did say, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Sometimes we got to forgive God, for we know not what he does. It is a struggle for a lot of people. But forgiveness is a big part of daily life. Root word for forgiveness, give. We're not, and it's kind of strange for me to say, we're not forgiving the person or God or anything that anybody that we have to forgive for them, for the sake of them. Forgiveness is more for us, so we can let go of the anger, so we can let go of the hate, and we can move on in peace. It will give us peace. We can't hold on to that hatred and anger and everything when someone does something towards us or something bad happens. There's a reason that I put Stitch into this. And actually, forgive me for the loud shirt. I know a lot of people usually see me wearing black or hoodies and all that. I felt it was appropriate. Let's bring out the pink. Let's bring out the brightness. Because forgiveness is bright. And this little character, hopefully you guys can see, Stitch. If you watch that movie, look at it through the eyes of a child, it's just going to be something fun. But if you look at it through the eyes of an adult, you realize that this little guy is thrust into a brand new position. He was an outsider, just like most of us are. He did things nobody understood, besides for that one little girl, Lilo. Lilo liked him no matter what. They had to forgive each other for all the stupid adventures and things getting broken, and even Lilo's sister, big sister, had to forgive Stitch. And what was it? Jumba, the guy that was chasing him, trying to capture him again, they ended up joining forces, being friends. There's a lot of forgiveness messages in that. That's why I felt it was fitting for this to be a stitch of forgiveness. Ephesians 4:31 and 32. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted. Forgive one another, as God in Christ forgave you. I think that was the point for Lilo and Stitch also. Because they forgave each other. And at the end, let's see if this goes to it, they became Ohana. As Stitch said, I'm not going to do the voice even though I can. Ohana means family. And family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. I think that's one thing that us as humans need to understand. We're all family. Doesn't matter what part of the world we come from, we're all family. We need to love each other, love one another, forgive one another, leave no one behind. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God forgave you. Hold that to your heart. I want to thank you all for allowing me this opportunity. Thank you, Pastor Mark. Again, thank you for those that are watching today. Hopefully this message did touch you. Hopefully this message touched people here, and I see it. You can see it in faces. I'm sorry if I made you cry on some of this stuff. Sorry if I started crying a little bit. But I pray every day that this church family grows. Pastor Mark, talked to him earlier. This family grew today. I was nervous coming up here, because the last time I gave the message, there was not this many people. So, forgive me if I was loud in the shirt. Forgive me if I was nervous. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Now I turn it back over to Pastor Mark if he wants to say anything.
No, all I want to do is this.